think I may have finally gotten through just the tiniest bit to my mother. Maybe. I'm not holding my breath, but I didn't yell. I didn't, I stayed very calm. Didn't get, yelling, and that's because that's going to shut her down, But I just stated the facts. See, I already told you about my aunt's two criminal sons, They're actually nice kids, They made mistakes in life, and now, they do, they have their own business doing whatever. It doesn't really matter. They're nice kids, but this is a war between me and my aunt. And in war, there's casualties of war, so, I was talking about Marion being admitted cokehead for 8 years when those kids were babies, whatever. She was their scumbag husband. And I was talking about them being in jail, one for a year and one maybe for a month, Back when Marion was still my enemy, and she is still my enemy. It's just, then it was out in the open that we're enemies. Now, in her eyes, we're not. In my eyes, of course, we still are. And anybody rational on this planet would agree with me. So anyway, her kids do odd jobs and stuff, and they get paid for it. My mom needs work done here on her closet door. Is horrible. I take out my rage and frustration. It gets stuck. It's just horrible. And she needs a new stove, and so she wants new closet doors, and she wants to get mirrors on them like her friends have. And then she asked me, she goes, "Do you want to get, new closet doors for that bedroom with mirrors on them?" I was sure, if you want to. Just make sure the family knows that I didn't ask you to. You are. So anyway, we were out walking the dogs today, and one of Marion's boys, saw us, and I guess he had come over to measure the stuff, but nobody told us ahead of time or anything. I guess he was in the area doing something, so he came over. So tonight, I'm saying to my mom, I'm like, what is this going to cost you tomorrow? Because Marion arranged it what she was supposed to do. And this makes me angry, and I told my mom, but I said it, without getting angry with my mom. I said, she's been all these months since you got that money from that wrongful death case, that dragged on for many, many years, and that Marion got as much money as you because she helped you and she put in the initial $1,000 for the lawyer, whatever, right? I said, and all this where she has this power of attorney over you that you think that she's just, you can't fight it, and whatever. And then she's going to pawn you off on her son and have him drive you to the store to get, to pick out the stove and the doors, the closet doors and whatnot. And I said, Mom, that's going to be added to your bill. He's not doing this out of the goodness of his heart. You're going to have to pay for his time. That's going to be an extra couple hours. And then she's like, well, I don't think so. I'm like, Mom, of course it is. And then she's like, how come, I wish why couldn't Marion buy me? I don't know how to pick out a stove yet. I'm like, I know. She likes to have all this control over you, yet she's going to have her son, and then you have to pay him more. And I said, are you going to, you have to find out what he's going to charge, Mom. You don't just say, okay, well, he's going to charge whatever, and I don't need to know. He came over, and it took 2 seconds, because we had been doing it wrong, whatever, when the electricity was out. We were doing the fuse box wrong. We didn't know it. It took him 2 seconds, but still, it's time. I said, did you find out what he charged for that? And she goes, I don't think he charged anything. I'm like, well, of course he does. He's not doing anything so good as for his heart. It's just his time and gas to come over here. She goes, well, I asked Marion, and she said she didn't know. She didn't ask me. I said, Mom, just because Marion has control over your money, you still have a right to know if her sons do work, what they're going to charge. And then she wanted me to go with her to pick up this stuff. I said, no, I'm not involved. I told you, since you do have that money, pick out what you like, even if it costs like $100 more, get what you like. I don't know, I wish Marion, well, Mom, she did she? So now you're going with her son, and he's going to get even more, because it's going to be a couple extra hours of his time. And you see what goes on here? My mom sees it, but whatever, okay? Nowadays, everyone charges everything. I don't know, does he charge $150 an hour? I mean, you have a right to know, Mom. I said, maybe I'm going to be dropped off at the library to print out that paper. And my mom was going to call and say, should we tell him? No, the whole point, Mom, is, you understand, to me, she's the enemy. We're going to tell her that it's too late. We already sent in that paper to the IRS. You should say to her, you didn't do anything month after month after month, and now it's been a year, I didn't get my money. Now, we're going to handle it, period. But you don't warn the enemy, You have to be like, well, we did it, it's too late, see? So I'm not going with her, and I don't want to anyway. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be influenced that I got her to get something more expensive. No, she's going to do it on her own with him, and I'm going to do my thing tomorrow. I might go and take the rest of the mall out. Anyway, so I said, Mom, you have that money, plus you have the money because you never got a car, and you totaled your car, and it was your fault, and you decided to just get the cash. You still have to keep track of it. Keep track of it the way you keep track of anything. And she goes, well, can you do it? I go, Mom, I'm not going to be here. And then I explained to her very nicely, what I've yelled about before. I just explained. I said, Mom, if I, it would be different. It would be different if I'm staying here taking care of my elderly mother, and you had this house and a living trust for me, and then I could even tell people, guys, that I'm dating, It's not me living with my mother, it's me staying here with my elderly mother who needs help with the dogs and needs help taking care of this house, and I'm her only child, and everything's gonna go to me if someone, someday, hopefully, in a long, long, long time from now, if anything happens to her. But with me, it's not about the money or this house or anything. It's about the respect. It's about my mom standing up and choosing me over the family and saying, and I said to her, like, Mom, and my mom goes, I will put in a living trust for you. I said, even your crazy, stupid friend I don't like that much told you should do that. She's like, I will then. Well, let's go to a lawyer. I go, Mom, the second you try to do that, Marion's going to fight you. She's going to show her true colors, believe me. I know I'm smart. And I said, but she did. She said that she would. And then, being here, my mom wants me to be here. And she's realizing, I said, Mom, there's a big difference between me staying here on your half-sister's good graces where she can throw me out at a moment's notice. I have no safety, plus I'm filled with rage, okay? It's a big difference between that and if I was staying here helping out my elderly mother who had put her home into a living trust for me, her only child, and make the power of attorney null and void. And you can put in all kinds of things that, if the family's going to point all that money I got from my mom when I was dying a little bit every day, and I wasn't putting the money up my nose. I was just with that abusive relationship and whatnot. But it doesn't matter, because if the family's gonna say, oh, Laura's gonna take all of them, no, you make it so I can't. You make it so I can't touch the house, can't touch the 401k, nothing. But my mom knows nothing about anything. And you know what she says to me? I go, Mom. So we started talking about all this stuff, and then when I said, when you got out of the hospital in 2009, I said, I think we were talking about the power of attorney and whatnot, and she goes, I don't have the power of attorney, and I go, well, I do, and she goes, And I go, but you can just get it from the bank. No, I can't. I'm like, what do you mean you can't? No, only I can't touch. They won't give me anything at that bank, only to Mary. Like, I'm trying to get her to understand that she can. I said, Mom, you can walk into a courthouse at any time. My friend from when I was in the shelter that I met, my old friend from a time ago who studied law, he told you can walk into a courthouse and make that null and void. She doesn't believe me. She doesn't believe it. No, I can't. And I made her understand that so long as I'm just here under Marian's graces, and I'm just, if you don't grow a backbone and stick up for yourself and make that power of attorney null and void and put this home into this house of living trust for me, then, I'm going to leave at a moment's notice. There's no reason for me not to. I'm shit in the eyes of the law if anything ever happened to you. I'm shit. And if Miriam wants to hide your whereabouts from me or hide what's happening to you from me, there's nothing that I can do about it. So why do I want to stay under those circumstances? I explained it to her. And she goes, well, we'll go and we'll see a lawyer. And I said, yeah, and the second we try all this, Marian you're gonna find out her true colors, Mom. She's not gonna put up with it. But my mom actually thought she can't even go to her own bank and request a copy of that power of attorney. I said, Mom, you did it in 2009, don't you remember? You got out of the hospital. You were still crazy. You were scaring me a little bit. Remember, I told you she tried to hurt me when I was 23. She was acting very weird, and she was angry with me because I was provoking her, because Marian, I couldn't believe it. Marian had told my mom that I had stolen $3,000 from my mom, and I hadn't. Her credit cards were locked up in the hospital with her. Marian led her to believe that. She fuddled with her mind, because her mind was all fuddled. And my mom has the wherewithal, even though she was still, she went to her bank, she drove down there, and she got a copy of the check that proved, surprise, surprise, Laura had not stolen $3,000 from me, okay? Marian had taken it from one account and put it to something else. But anyway, it wasn't me. It doesn't really matter what happened to it. Number one, and my mom had the wherewithal to get that power of attorney. Who knows why? But, it just was all because my mom's mentally ill, and it's easy to manipulate, and she wants to please her sisters and please the family and whatnot. And I'm getting into her head a little bit, and I have every right to. I'm the fucking daughter, people. I'm the only child. My family acts like, led by Marian, that I said, Mom, they act like that I was some kind of crack addict breaking into people's houses, I've never been in jail. Her two sons were both criminals. They were both in jail, one for a year. And I probably would, if my mom stands up for the family, goes behind their back, does this, stands up for me, puts, and then I probably would stay here as opposed to move out and live by myself or go get roommates or whatever, because it would be a different situation, understand? It would be me taking care of my elderly mom who wants me here, she's approaching 70, and whatever. But under the circumstances, no, when my half-aunt controls everything, my mom thinks she has no right to know about anything, and there's supposedly a will that leaves me everything. It's just all bullshit. Even kings should have checks and balances on them, okay? Nobody knows what Marian's doing, and that's not right. You think Marian won't fight? She's going to fight, but I told my mom the other day, I said, Mom, if I ever find out that Marian's been doing stuff behind your back or not on the up and up, I said, I'll get her arrested. I have proof that she defrauded your credit card company, declared as fraud, legitimate charges you had made on your own credit cards. I didn't make those charges. Okay? So I've told my mom I'm not afraid, because no one can, throw me out in the street now. I have a substantial amount of money in the bank, and that gives me, freedom, gives me some sense of security, and I don't want to leave here, but, this is about me finally being respected and recognized by my family that I am the fucking child. I'm the only child. I am the daughter that my mother loves. And everything she has, she wants to go to me, you know. She wants willed to me. It's not rocket science, but she's manipulated, brainwashed into thinking she thought she can't go to her own bank and request a copy of the power of attorney. So no, I can't do that. Not without Marion's permission, see? And I said it calmly. I said, Mom, I can leave here at a moment's notice. I'm supposed to go visit my friend for a few months, As long as you don't stick up to the family for me, stick up for me against the family. You make that power of attorney null and void. Definitely put in all kinds of stipulations or whatever. If the family's going to point out all that money my mom gave me in the past, money, as I like to sarcastically say, like Donald's mom liked to sarcastically say that she thought belonged to her, didn't know it belonged to Marion, It's just what my mom thinks. But can you blame her? Marion got her sectioned 5 times in 11 months. Marion just suddenly declared in 2007, 8, whatever, somewhere in between there, because I got a tearful call from my mom. I just found out Marion has power of attorney. Just declared it, I have this power of attorney, whatever. And Marion presents herself, and it looks really good, except I know things about her. See? It looks really good. It looks legitimate. Marion presents herself to the world as protecting my mom against me and points out all the money that my mom gave to me. And as I'm going to say, because it's the truth, that did happen, but it's because I was being abused and going through hell, and then I got hurt, and this, that, whatever. It was just all one thing after another. And that's how it is, I wish it had never happened, but my friend, my good, brilliant friend, who I'm going to hopefully be staying with for a few months, sometime in a couple of months, he says he doesn't care about any of that. He's like, you're the daughter. Your aunt cannot crawl back into your mother's womb and become her daughter. You are the daughter. She's the half-sister. It's a no-brainer. He doesn't care if I'm quote-unquote diagnosed mentally ill, whatever, but my mom has to develop a backbone. She has to develop a backbone and I said, Mom, you have to decide. If you want me to stay here, you have to decide whose side you're going to be on. Is it going to be me, or is it going to be your sisters? And then I said, I don't want to hear Jennifer is dying, the one with cancer, as an excuse. I don't want to upset the family. That's how you get the excuse when you put me in the shelter. Well, don't upset the family. Jennifer's dying. She might die for a long, long time, Mom, and she hopefully won't die at all, So I think my mom's starting to understand that, I could leave and that would be it. I told her, I said, my friend, my lawyer friend, paralegal friend, whatever, was really brilliant. He wanted to be a jerk. That's neither here nor there. He called her, and I told him the whole story, whatever. He says I told you, Mom, she could just walk into the courthouse and make that thing null and void anytime she wants to. She doesn't believe it. See? She doesn't believe it, so whatever. We'll see what happens. We'll see if she talks to a lawyer. I said, I'll have to go with you, But in the end, I am the child. Okay? Even a long time ago, because Marion admittedly hated my guts, I said, it doesn't have to be me. I don't, Marion screamed at me in 2009, you'll never get power of attorney, you're mentally ill, whatever. It's fine. It just shouldn't be you. It shouldn't be you when my mom doesn't know anything about what's going on and even thinks she cannot walk into her own bank and request a copy of anything without your permission. That's not what a power of attorney is. It's supposed to be a mutual thing. It's supposed to be someone who cannot handle their own finances or whatever, giving that power to somebody else. But the thing is, Marion never did this in a court. She never had a judge deem my mother mentally incompetent, and now she has the control. No, her notary's husband drew it up. The 2 sons signed as witnesses, and it was done in her kitchen, and my mom didn't know what she was signing. Okay. So I have things on her. Sure, she has things on me. She knows about me believing that Jack Kruger was in love with me, okay? She knows about all that and crazy and whatever, but I have things on her too. And in the end, it still boils down to what my brilliant musician ex so matter-of-factly said. You're the daughter, Laura. Your aunt cannot crawl back into your mother's womb and become the daughter, and any judge should see that. But I think I'm getting through to my mom a little bit. She actually says to me, well, we'll go to a lawyer, we'll put the house in a living trust. I said, but that involves my mom having to grow a backbone, stick up for me, the family, so I can have from them the respect I deserve as my mother's beloved daughter, who she loves, who she wants everything willed to, every last thing my mom has, every asset, every penny she has, she wants to go to me, okay? And if Marion fights it, whatever, well, I have things on her, my claws will come out too, you know. So maybe she'll just back down, I don't know. I told you she's so arrogant. What kind of person would declare as fraud legitimate charges my mother had made on her own credit card? She did it to make it look like I'd stolen my mom's credit cards, and I hadn't. Some of that stuff was just groceries, and my mom used her credit card to buy groceries down the store. Sure, she bought stuff for me. She also bought stuff for herself. I was visiting, you know, but it doesn't really matter. I admittedly have fucked up in life. I've made tons of mistakes, but Mary and sons have both been in jail, one for a year. And my mom admits that. I said, Mom, the family acts like I was some kind of crack addict breaking into people's homes. Both Mary's sons have criminal records. And my mom's like, yeah, I know. But my mom's just resigned to this. But now I'm here, okay? You know, now I'm in. Just like that movie, you know, Let Me In or whatever, invite the vampire into your house. Marion let me in here, and now I can slowly say things to my mom that my mom knows are true. And in the end, my mom wants me here. And when I matter-of-factly tell her, Mom, why will I stay here? Why would I ever stay here? I'm filled with rage. I'm nothing in the eyes of the law should anything, God forbid, happen to you. Marion has the power of attorney over you that you don't know what she's doing in regards to anything. You're not allowed to know anything about it. I mean, it's just bullshit, and it makes me sad. It makes me angry. So I think I'm going to stay under these circumstances. No, Laura, don't say that. I'll put, you know. And she says, no, I'll put it in a trust for you. Mom, you'll have to stand up to the family to do that. They'll fight you. They'll fight it. They'll get you declared mentally incompetent. They'll do everything they can. And I know this. I know it. But it would mean so much to me even if my mom would just do it. If she would take my side over the family's and force them to recognize the truth that I'm the fucking child. That I am the child. And Marion, my mother has a right to know what Marion is up to. Okay? And my mother has every right in the world to put this house into a living trust for me. So none of my family, who my mom trusts so much, but I don't trust worth a shit and have no reason to, can screw me over if something happens to my mom. It's not rocket science, people. Not rocket science. So but my mom will say things like, well, you can do that, or, you know, you can keep track of it. I'm not going to be here, Mom. Don't get used to being here unless things change and I am finally given the respect that I deserve from the family, okay? If Marion's two sons can be forgiven for being criminals, I sure as fuck deserve to be forgiven for all the fucking, you know, for everything that happened. I didn't, you know, at least I didn't wind up in jail. And I was in an abusive relationship, you know, and that's an excuse in and of itself for me being fucked up and me not being able to work or whatever, you know. one thing after another happened. And that's just how it goes. And in the end, it was still my mom. And like Donald's mom, when she was my friend, she said she didn't care if it was $20,000. She didn't care. She's like, it wasn't all at once. It was over the course of over a year. And she didn't care. She's like, it was your mom's money to give you. You know, why am I? There are parents who decide to give my ex can give me examples, things he's known and found out about his whatnot. There are parents that decide to give their children, buy them $150,000 houses, you know. Parents do things for their kids. Why am I, if I accept money from my mom who wants to help me, if I beg her because I'm this close to being dead, you know, beg her for money because I've depleted it and I got hurt and I didn't have a chance to do what I would plan to do and whatnot, or maybe, you know, I procrastinated a little bit and I was drinking back then, but the thing is, I'm still clean. I'm criminally clean. I don't have any criminal record to speak of. I'm a college honors graduate, okay? I've admittedly made tons of mistakes. But why am I condemned? When my mom was sick, I even said to her, like, Mom, you realized all this when you were sick. You went to the bank. You knew I'm telling you. What did you Mary tell Mom? My mom was still sick, so I was yelling at her. I was provoking her because she was saying all this stuff that Marion said, and that I stole $3,000 from her, and I knew it. Mom, I didn't do that. She